Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very different. Usually we sit down, we play with the new makeup, we talk about what's new in beauty world. But I decided that after I made a post this morning on my Insta stories and I had some engagement on it, I thought I would sit down and just kind of give a life update, kind of talk about what I've been going through and what's just hanging out in my head right now. But if you're here for that, if you want to just kind of engage in the comments with whatever we discuss, I look forward to having that conversation. We do talk about the makeup. We do makeup in this video. This is the look that we get. But I clear out some things and we have a conversation. Before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell for notifications to new videos, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this look and what's been going on in my life, some things that have maybe been stressing me out, or just next chapters, just keep watching. Okay guys, I figured we would just sit down and play with some makeup because I feel like I haven't really just done like a chatty get ready with me, and some things have changed recently. And this video is kind of because this morning when I woke up I was feeling some things and I posted something on my Insta story. It was just talking about how stressed I am, and I thought, you know what, I can't be the only person that's going through that, and I thought we would sit down and talk. I'm not really gonna go through every single thing that I'm using. I'll show you what I'm using, which is the Louise Base to prime my eyes, but I did do some swatches of the eyeshadow palette. Those will be placed in as well, but I just want to get ready and kind of talk with you guys because I know I have a lot more people on my channel. My subscribers have gone up, and whether you've subscribed or not, my views have gone up, and I appreciate every one of you that are here, whether you're a subscriber or not, or I popped up on your feed and are checking it out. But I want to have a conversation about social media, and this was a conversation I had with friends back when I got divorced in beginning of 2020, and we'll start there real quick because in 2019, right before I went on to my last push as an RDC up in Great Lakes, I had gone on a cruise with my ex-husband and his family, and through Instagram and pictures and the conversations I'd had with friends, everyone thought things were great, that our marriage was happy, and I guess I've never really talked about it. Mind you, I didn't even post that I was divorced. I just changed my name on Facebook and was like, whoa, who is this person? But it was my subtle way without, I don't know, just sparking a whole bunch of gossip, or the less drama the better. So that was my subtle way of saying I'm divorced and I'm moving on. But when people saw that, they were just kind of like, whoa, you guys were just on vacation together and everything looked great. We ended up separating in November of that year, and we were divorced in Great Lakes in March. It was March because I had ankle surgery in February, and I went to the courthouse to finish off my divorce in a cast and a knee scooter. That's the whole thing. So I am going to use the ColourPop Enchanted palette. I ordered this and then never used it. It's been in my drawer and I keep looking at it and it's stunning. I mean, this is the color story. It is really pretty. So you post what you want people to see. Whereas, behind the scenes, behind the camera, your life could be exploding. And they don't know that unless you talk about it or post about it. And no one wants to see those pictures sometimes. No one wants to see the chaos. There's some people, but you decide what you share with the world. I have a really close-knit group of friends, and I know that I can text them and we can talk through things. We can get together and just grab a coffee and discuss. But there's some things where I don't always want to inundate my friends with that. And this year, for me, it wasn't even this year, it was the end of 2022. I had something happen to me where it wasn't bad. It just dredged up an old memory that I hadn't really paid attention to. And after having a conversation with a couple people, they were like, maybe you need to talk to someone. So I decided to find a therapist, which there's so many stigmas with that. If you're in therapy, maybe you're crazy or you're losing your mind or you're just not all right. It's okay to not to be all right. It's okay to go and seek someone out. And they're an outsider looking in, listening to what you have to discuss at that point. And I want to say I've been in therapies for like 2 months now. And after having my sessions, like, I feel better. But it's just not everyone understands what you're going through. Not everyone is going to feel the same way. And for me, after talking to a couple people, that I'm close to or that I work with, I made that decision for myself. And I feel like that was the right decision. But like last night, I went out with some friends and we had a good time. But this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm still stressed. I'm kind of tired. Like, thankfully I don't have to work today and I don't have to work tomorrow. But there's part of me that's also like, I don't want to go to work. And just at the end of the day, that's all right. I hope that when I do retire from the military that I can continue YouTube. I've found such a passion with this as something that started as a hobby, and now, I haven't talked about that, but I monetize now and I do make some money off of YouTube. It's not life sustaining, but it's something. It's supplemental. It's in addition to. And, who's to say that when I retire and I'm getting my pension from the military that I don't keep doing YouTube and be able to make my own schedule, but I have options. There's, do I continue to do YouTube and have that as my full time, as well as other social media, because I just recently started doing my TikToks, which I take these long freaking videos and turn them into 1-minute clips. And then if you like watching that 1-minute clip and want to have the conversation, because we talk on this channel, they can pop over here and see YouTube, and I'll post them on Instagram. So I've tried different things because it's not something I thought I'd ever do. And we've talked about it. I wasn't ever going to post on YouTube. I just wasn't the person to be in front of a camera and film myself. And then one of my friends had asked me for some help and makeup tips. And I was like, oh, let me record something. And I sent it to her and she's like, you should post this on YouTube. And I was like, no, that's not me. I'm not that girl. And there were a couple of YouTubers that I followed, and their statements were, if you're going to start a channel, do it. Just post something. See what can come of it. I did, which I joke that I need to go back and visit my first videos because I've started to watch them. I've had to turn them off, and I'm just like, whoa, I have changed a lot from those videos. My techniques have changed. The things that I like as far as makeup has changed. The person I was with that when I started my channel in 2018 is not the person I am in 2023. And we're supposed to evolve and develop and mature and change. Again, change. Because we wouldn't be who we are if we didn't get influenced by our friends, our family, things that we see, people that we're mentored by, and it's okay. But this morning, I was feeling a little stressed and overwhelmed. Even though I had a good time with my friends last night, I still woke up thinking about, okay, well, I'm not distracted now, because we went out and we went to the historic Martin mansion. They held like the boozy cauldron. It was like a show with drinks, and it was actually pretty entertaining. But when you're not distracted with those things, you start thinking about everything else that's going on. So I know I don't talk about my job per se a lot. I say my job and then I get questions in the comments of, what do you do? I'm active duty military. I've been in for 18 and a half years. I can technically retire in a year and a half, which I'm only 38. I'll be 39 this year, so I'll be 39 when I'm eligible to retire. But I haven't submitted that paperwork. I haven't made that decision 100%. But some things have happened recently with work where I'm just kind of like, you know what? If this happens, then I'm going to, submit my retirement paperwork. And if it doesn't, then I'll continue on to the next command, the next chapter, and see what it has to offer. I'm hoping this video is not 2 hours long, but there's decisions that have to be made based off of something that is completely out of my control. I have some negative opinions of the military, but they are outweighed by all the positives I've had. And if there's someone that is young or even my age that wants to join, because we did just change the age limit, I would say do it. There have been some great benefits. I've made so many amazing friends. I've met amazing people. I've had awesome interactions. sitting in the cockpit of a Korean jet, or, going to Australia, Brisbane, Darwin, and Sydney because I was stationed in Japan. When I talk to friends that I, went to high school with, and they've been on, cruises to the Caribbean, but they've never been over to Asia Pacific or gone to Europe, I wonder, like, maybe it's not something that they want to do, but at the same time, it's like, I've had that opportunity and I think it's so exciting. And I've had friends that they've told me, they're like, I look at your Instagram and I just live through what you do. But at the same time, I want people to know that, what you see on Instagram is only what I show you. It's only what I allow you to see, because not everything needs to be a picture. Not everyone shows, behind the scenes where they're just contemplating the next chapter. And, at that point, you got to remember that social media is not reality. For some people, it might be. But even then, the reality TV shows, those have some stage moments. You listen to the people that were on those shows, and they'll tell you, we were coached to do X, Y, and Z on camera, or to start this fight, or whatever, because it entices people to watch. But that's okay. That's the road they took. That's the path that they decided to go on. But not everyone wants that same experience. And not everyone's wanted the same experience that I've had. But at the same time, especially after I posted that video today, I have to remind you that not everyone that shows you only the good side of their life is having a perfect day every day. My days aren't perfect. And I would be a fool to make you think that I was otherwise. But there's been a lot going on. And there's things that are out of my control. But at what point do you make a decision and stand by it? And right now, I have a tough one, because there's something I was told last week at work, and I don't even have the defined answer on it. But it's like, am I ready to be done with the military in a year and a half? Or do I have another 3 years in me? I didn't think I was going to do... Originally, when I joined the Navy, I was going to do 20 years. Yeah, let's go. I was just so gung-ho and like so excited for that chapter. It's going to be a career. And then I joined, and there were some things that happened at one of my first commands, and some opinions that were made, and I had it in my head that, nope, I'm going to get out after my contract is up. But it was my second command after I was off limited duty because I got injured. And that chain of command changed my mind. The chain of command that I had there, the chief that I worked for, the commander that I worked for the admiral at that point. Those experiences, those people made me change my mind. And I saw the people that would go to bat for me. And I also decided that I wanted to be that person that's going to go to bat for my people. So that's part of it that is like, okay, I don't want to be done in a year and a half, because I have had those opportunities as an RDC, or recruit division commander, as we call them in the military, or in the Navy. In the Army, they're called drill instructors, or DIs in the Marine Corps. You see the impact that you make on a brand new recruit turning into a sailor, and when they do get to the fleet and they reach back after 2 years and they've had all these accomplishments, for me, that's a huge deal, because it's like, okay, I made an impact on that person. Whether they stay in for 4 years or a career, you touched them in some way that they, emulated or were inspired by, and they're doing their job. I'm going to use the Stila All About the Blurring and Smoothing Primer. One of my favorites recently. I think I've talked about this in like my last 2 videos. But this morning, I was feeling stressed. I was thinking about all the things I had going on this week that aren't just for me, and then all the things I've got going on at work. So between work and my personal life, I just kind of was like, there's just so much. But I needed to vent. I needed to just get it out. And I posted it on my stories. And I have had some responses. I've had a couple people post emojis or just reach out and ask if I was okay. And I appreciate that, because some of you I know, and some of the people that reached out I don't know. But for me, that's like, okay, that's the community I've built on YouTube, on Instagram. And I appreciate those that have been there and have made this possible. It sounds like I'm receiving an award. But that's the thing, is I didn't know I was going to be doing this. I didn't know that I'd have a whole community outside of my normal friend base. Oh, I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation. If I forget to say anything that I used, I'll post it down below. I've been trying to post everything that I've been using, whether I remember to share the links or just like the title of what it is. I'm trying, but like I said, I'm kind of distracted too, which is also the other thing that has changed recently. And I've done this before in the past, like when I was moving from Chicago to Norfolk, I hired an editor. So back then I had hired the editor just for temporary because the move was a big thing. I had a lot going on and I knew that I couldn't move plus edit and film and everything else. So taking the editing out was easier. Can't stop filming. It's my outlet. I know right now I'm just talking to a camera and at first I felt weird just talking to a camera, but when I do post this, that's when the real conversation happened. Whether this is just me ranting right now staring at a recording device or, later on down the road, it becomes a back and forth of, maybe you're going through it too. Maybe there's things that you have going on in your life and, on your mind, and you just need someone to talk to. But there's options out there. And this morning, I put it into the air. I remembered what I was talking about. I did hire an editor right before, the beginning of January, I want to say mid-January. And it's been super helpful. I'm going to use the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. I use this so much at the end of 2021, like holidays and going into the beginning of the new year. I absolutely love this. I picked it up in a new shade Golden. And then I'm also going to do the Laura Mercier, Translucent Loose Setting Powder Ultra Blur. I love this setting powder. So I started working with a new editor because there's just a lot going on between work, and then I know I updated you guys in one of my last videos that I had just recently moved my grandmother in with me. I don't want to, lose this part of my life as well. And I feel like if I just task one thing to someone else, I might feel better. I might feel less stressed because, like I said, this was a hobby. I didn't think of it as like a follow-on career. But I also see the flexibility I could have with doing YouTube as a job when I retire and not being, reliant on someone else, not having to answer to someone else as in like my work hours, and I could be more flexible. My grandmother's 81 and we're getting the groove. Things are getting better. She's getting stronger every day. But I would like to not have to go to a 9-to-5 after I retire and be able to spend more time with her. And we do go on little like outings. We jump in the Jeep and I say jump, it doesn't jump, but we go in the Jeep and we drive around the area. We find things we want to do and we just kind of explore. But I feel like if I go and become a contractor, which is an option, I know that my job will be probably 9-to-5. Whereas with YouTube, I could wake up, I could work out, I could do my makeup tutorials or do a vlog, whatever it is that I decide to do. And then whether I'm editing or I'm outsourcing to someone else to edit, it frees up some of my time and I can just have some freedom. But there's so many unknowns, but I like having the options. And then like Luke, he's still active duty, so he still has some time, which I don't think I've ever talked about that. I try not to put other people's info out there, but we still have to think about that too. We've been together over a year now, and I see myself down the road in 5 years, 10 years still with him. Things are good, and he's been super helpful with everything going on recently, but it's not just my decision either, and that's also nice too, because I might have this idea of my life, but he's a good sounding board. I may not always agree with the things he says, but that's normal in any relationship, but there's that give and take. And just recently I've been stressed. So I do, lean on my friends and, hey, let's go, grab dinner. Let's go to a show. Let's just something, right? Because that's what friends are for. They're there as a sounding board, but they're also, when you're not having drama or stress, they're that person to just have fun with, hang out, light a fire, have a couple drinks, jokes, whatever. And I'm thankful for my friends for that because they've been there, checked in on me, especially with everything going on recently. And actually, my cousin's here right now. He came down to visit. So it is nice to have him super close too, and he visit grandma and just have a good old time. And I know that I have some decisions to make in the next probably 4 or 5 weeks, but it's a lot, but we'll get there. Whether I retire in a year and a half or I retire in 3 years. Like there's some things that when I retire, I get to do. And I've never really talked about like military regulation. I've danced around the topic, but there's certain things like regulations on makeup and hair and piercings, and there used to be on tattoos. Not so much anymore. There's still like, I have no intentions of getting one on my neck. But there used to be regulations, like, well, there's still a regulation. You can only get it, if you get it on your neck, it can't be bigger than the size of like a postage stamp, a 1x1. But there's things that, like, I want to get my ears pierced. I want to change my hair color to something other than like natural. I joke about it with the girl that does my hair, Maddie. I told her, I said, when I retire in 3 years, we're gonna be turning my hair lavender. And she's like, lavender all over or lavender balayage? And I was like, ooh, I got some time to figure it out. But that's part of the contractor part. If I do become a contractor, I may not be able to do that fun stuff with my hair. I haven't looked to see. But then if I just do YouTube all the time, I can do whatever I want. Because that's my personality and individuality. And I'm excited for it. It's a whole nother chapter. So there's part of me that's like, okay, a year and a half, cool, I got it. But then there's part of me that goes, a year and a half, crap. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I do love the idea that if I just did YouTube when I retire, you know, evolving my channel from makeup. And I know like my declutter videos get the most views. I don't understand that. Like, I hate cleaning. I really despise it. But I do it because I don't want to live in a house where I feel like I'm hoarding. I don't want to live in all this clutter. So I clean. I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't know why my declutter videos do so well. Because they're long. I'll watch declutter videos and I can watch them for a little bit and I'm like, oh, I should go do this in my bathroom or whatever. And I'll do it for a little bit, but then I'm like, okay, I'm bored. But that's the thing is, my makeup videos do well, but my declutter videos do the best. So it's like, do I stick with makeup when I retire and just do that on YouTube? Or because I have the freedom, do makeup and travel and just other things too. And just, you know, there's options. I've seen some of the YouTubers that I watch evolve their channels, not just makeup, but, you know, travel with me to this location or let's go, they vlog. So one of the things that I've thought about doing is like also adding vlogging into my channel. But I filmed it and then tried to edit it and I was like, no one wants to watch this. I just don't, like, it's not my forte. But I guess having an editor, maybe I could. I don't know. Because I know how to edit my videos for makeup and sitting in a makeup room and filming stationary. The movement and the transitions to, it's not my thing. We'll see. Thought about it. There's a lot of things that go through my mind. You know, I don't want to violate anyone's privacy, but I think it would also be cool to, you know, let's go shopping with me. Let's go find new makeup or, you know, doing stuff around the house. You know, I did buy my house 2021 and I did an empty house tour with you guys. But since then, Luke and I have done things around the house, like my laundry room, which is literally on the other side of this wall. You guys have probably heard this bin cycle is quite annoying, but I'm glad that I do have a laundry room. And I say that, but it was a linen closet at one point and they converted it, the previous owners. But that linen closet and the measurements are really awkward. And I have an all-in-one unit for the washer dryer and it's cool. I like the concept of going from washer to dryer and not having to switch over the laundry, and it also has Wi-Fi. So if we set it to, I don't know, when we're leaving the house, we can, you know, still check on the status of laundry while we're gone. And if we need to restart it, we can. I think that's really neat. I hate when my laundry finishes, it didn't dry all the way and it just sits in the dryer. I'm like, okay, but it is what it is. Oh dang, I forgot that I had a putty product. I have the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in, what is this, Tan Lines? I think I used this on top of powder last time and it was fine. But I'm going to use it for contour and bronzing. But the one thing that I didn't think about doing, and I was like, we could have vlogged the trip to Home Depot where trying to, you know, come up with their measurements on the fly. And we figured out, I say we, I figured out that Luke is one of those that needs to do math on paper, whereas I can do some of it, not all of it. I'm not a math whiz, but I can kind of calculate in my head. And then I was waiting for him to come up with the same answer and he did, and I was like, okay. But that was actually quite an interesting adventure going to Home Depot with him, which I hate going to Home Depot. I would rather order things ahead and just pick it up. The convenience of not having to go and walk around a store and like bump into all these people, just, I have other things I would like to do, like just relax. I don't like going to Home Depot. He loves going through all the aisles and seeing all the things. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I have home projects I want to do, but I don't want to spend 5 hours in Home Depot looking for wood. or screws or nails. I would just rather purchase what I want and install it. But we did that project on the laundry room, and we actually, if I think about taking a picture of it, it might need to be straightened up a little bit. It's not one of those very aesthetically pleasing laundry rooms. It's just we were able to put a shelf in there, actually 2, because you've heard the spin cycle, but the things on top of the washer dryer, they spin everywhere. They just shoot out. If the door wasn't closed, it would fling everything that's on top of it out into the hallway. Just like, no. So we put the shelf in there, and it's convenient. But it was just like, you know, if I was a vlogger, if I had thought about that, if I had a vlog camera at the time, which I kind of did because my iPhone can do that, but I wasn't thinking about, oh, we should vlog this. You know, just 2 normal people putting in a laundry room shelf. But there was work that went into it. And it's just, those are not the things that I think about, because that's not the content my YouTube is. And it's just, it is what it is. But I wouldn't mind either creating a second channel for like vlogging, which right now one channel is a lot of work, but if I've retired and I'm focusing on just YouTube, maybe it would be, you know, something I could do. But I'm not there yet. I haven't made that final decision because there's still a lot of things that are up in the air. You know, maybe supplement a weekend vlog here and there. I just haven't done it, and I've thought about it. I don't know, would you guys be interested in vlogs? And if you are, what would you want to see? Because sometimes my weekends are really boring. Like today, I got up, I worked out, I went for a run. I had an injury. The beginning of last year, I re-sprained my ankle that I had ankle surgery on almost 3 years ago. And I was like, I don't even know how I did this. I didn't really talk about it. Like I said, I haven't done like a life update with you guys on what's been going on. I briefly discuss, and that's like maybe a 2 or 3 minute like conversation. It's just a glimmer in a video about makeup. But I was really actually annoyed because I don't know how I sprained my ankle. We were at a hockey game, I want to say the beginning of last year, and just sitting there, my ankle was hurting, and I was, what the heck is going on? I looked down. By the time we left, because I had asked Luke if he didn't mind if I like put my ankle on his knee to kind of elevate it, which he let me. But by the time we left, my ankle was like 3 times the size it had been when we got there, and I was only wearing tennis shoes. Like I wore my Chucks or something. I was like, it shouldn't be like this right now. So I went and saw a medical, and I was in physical therapy for probably 6 months trying to heal it. It freaking felt like forever. But I was like, I just had surgery on this a couple of years ago. Like, how did I re-aggravate it? Which a sprain is tendons and muscles and ligaments, whereas I had surgery on the Achilles and bones. So I guess I could have, but it was just kind of like, why? We got kind of a bronze. But so today, like I said, I jump around in my conversations. I was like, what was I talking about that led me to my sprained ankle? So I went for a run. I did probably more walking than I did running, and I did less than a mile because I want to be able to continuously run before I increase my distance. And even today, my right leg, my calf, was starting to cramp up. So I don't want to add in extra distance today. I was like, okay, we're going to cut this short. But that's the thing, is if you have injuries or you're starting something new, don't overdo it. I work out probably 3 to 4 times a week, just depends. And as much as I would think that I'm an advanced person when it comes to working out, there's still things I've never done. There's still workouts I've never tried. But the first time I do it, I'm not doing that max rep and like overdoing the weight. I'm using the ColourPop Frisky Business Press Powder. This is one of them that survived the declutter. But it was just kind of like, okay, let's go for this run and try. So I did that, and it felt good to get back out there and run a little bit because I feel like I've gained some weight, and I only know that because it says it on the scale. When I think about like weight and everything when you're looking at the scale, there's also body composition, body fat, muscle versus fat. There's so many things to take into consideration. But when my clothes start fitting a little bit differently because stress or I'm comfortable in my relationship or whatever, I want to be able to fit into those clothes. So I was like, okay, I need to add running back in because when I was running, I was still maintaining a fit figure, but my clothes fit more comfortably. So I hate the stereotype of, oh, you're overweight. No, because I'm not meant to be 110 pounds. I am 5'5". My background is mostly European and Polish, Dutch, and German predominantly. We have certain body types. I like my curves. They're okay. But it took me a long time to get to that point and be like, like, yes, I'm comfortable with the curves that I have, and not everyone does. I'm gonna use the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in Illuminati. Also something that survived the declutter, and I haven't used it in a while. I used it last night when we went out, but you have to be comfortable with yourself. Not everyone's like that. Not everyone has that same opinion or mentality of it. And what bugs me is when someone seems to think that they can go on your pictures or, you know, things that you post and tell you that you're overweight or you need to lose weight or you need to go on a diet. Mind your business. I will tell you right now, I was told when I was younger by my mom that I was overweight, and really didn't think I was going here with this video. She had me prescribed on weight loss pills. She didn't know for a very long time was I was flushing the Prozac down the toilet. She would count them. She was making sure that I was taking them. And yep, Mom, I'm taking them. And they went straight down the toilet. When I look at pictures of me when I was younger, there's a difference in middle school to high school. I did gain weight in high school, especially before the military, like right before I left. I was a little bit heavier, but I was a teenager. I was a teenager. I wasn't as active or physical as I am now. I wasn't doing a normal workout routine. That just wasn't my thing. I played softball in, I think it was middle school, and did gymnastics briefly, not very long. I'm not great at it. I'm also very clumsy. But even doing some of those things, because it was what she wanted me to do, I rebelled a lot. I rebelled a lot. I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick. I've got the Emilie Heath Full Up Brow Powder. I literally just drag this through to fill in where my brows aren't like super fluffy. And then I do like pomade or something on top of it to just kind of get them in place. But growing up, to be told like you're overweight or you need this, or, you know, my mom wanted me to be a cheerleader. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I actually rebelled a lot. I think I've talked about it with you guys that I went through like a goth phase, you know, wearing black makeup and, you know, the black lipstick or whatever. So I hung out with the people I wanted to. And actually one of my really good friends in high school was a cheerleader. And my mom's like, why can't you be like her? Because I don't want to be. Stay true to who you are. Do what you want to do. Unless it's dangerous and you could hurt yourself or do harm to yourself. Don't do that. But that's the thing is, don't change for anyone else. You should be happy with what you have going. And it took me a long time to agree with that. So at the end of the day, if you're not happy with what you're doing it wrong. I'm not always happy with everything that I'm doing, but at the end of the day, I look back on, you know, the small sacrifices that I'm making. I say small. I've missed lots of events in military. I've been denied the opportunity to go home, take care of family because of military commitments. But at the end of the day, I still have time with them, and I know that if things had happened differently, I probably wouldn't have that same opinion, but I'm glad that I still have the opportunities that I've had. Traveling to different countries, seeing different cultures, living in Japan, 2 different tours. One time so my first tour there, I got to live out in town in Yokosuka. I had my own townhouse, absolutely freaking loved it. And then the second time I was there, which was when I was married, we lived on base and base housing in one of the apartment buildings, and it was cool. But I would never want to live in a military house again. But that's my personal preference. I've had the adventures that I've had because of what I did with my career. You know, living in Japan, I got to go and visit my sister when she lived in Thailand. Or, you know, my friends were stationed in Guam and caught a quick flight over there, or my ship would pull into Guam and I didn't have to pay to go and visit, you know. Or when my ship did pull into Thailand, my 2 friends, the one was on orders to Guam and the other one lived in Guam, so they caught a flight and met me and my ship in Thailand, and I took vacation. Like, we just had a girls trip that I didn't have to pay for. And it was such a great experience. And I'll never forget those memories. But not everyone gets those opportunities. And not everyone that joins the military will have that same option either. But I've been thankful for the things that I have been able to do. But now I'm seeing that decisions I made long ago, whether it's my decision or not right now, has different consequences. And that's where we're at. I don't even think my eyebrows are right where they're supposed to be. Let me fix these real quick. I'm gonna go finish my brows, do my eyeliner, mascara, and I'll be back. Okay, so I did go ahead and line my lips with the ColourPop Rudolph. This was the shade Clarice, which is the neutral shade, because I have the So Glossy Lip Gloss. This is in the shade Just Fly. So Glassy Lip Gloss is on the bottom. I'm trying to read it and I'm like, what the, like, if you can see it, it blends in. I like their lip glosses, but mostly when my hair is up. It's a really pretty shade. Today I couldn't be bothered to put my hair up. It was just a whole thing. We're gonna go run some errands. I need to run to Target and pick up some Nespresso pods because I only realized today that I have like 3 or 4 left and it's the holiday weekend, so I'm probably not gonna get my coffee until like the middle of the week. It is what it is, and I also didn't realize that Target sells the virtual pods. Whatever. So I'm gonna go pick those up. We have a couple other things that we need to do. I think we're gonna grill out tonight. I mean, it's almost 60 degrees, so I think Luke's gonna smoke some steaks for all of us tonight. We're just gonna hang out. Maybe we'll pick up some wood to like have a fire or something outside and just hang out before my cousin has to leave. But, you know, if you stuck around for this entire video and listened to me just kind of share my thoughts or what I'm going through, just know I appreciate it. I know that you don't have to stick around. I know you don't have to listen to me just ramble through the things that are going through my brain at this moment. And I truly appreciate every single one of you that have been here on my channel, leave comments, interact with me. I like the community that is being built on my YouTube channel. And I didn't know that it was gonna be this type of community. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I didn't really talk through all the makeup. I kind of just got some things out. Know that if you're going through something, that there are options available, and you know, find someone to talk to. Sometimes it's better to just let it out, whether it's journal, which I've never been great at, or talking to friends, talking to a therapist, which I hadn't done. I'm 38 years old and just finally made that decision. Find someone that you can just kind of vent and have those back and forth with. There's just so many people in my life that, you know, I don't want to inundate my friends with everything that I've got going on, because I also don't want to take it out on them if I don't agree with their opinion, which was also part of seeking out someone else's opinion. There's things that I think I'm right on, and I value my friends for everything that we've been through, or, you know, the fun times, bad times, but I also don't want them to feel like I don't appreciate their opinions either, and I never want to take it out on them, if that makes sense. And honestly, I feel better when I do just kind of get to have a sounding board. We talked about it. Y'all don't talk back until I post this video, and who knows? I could have this video edited and look at it and decide I don't want to post it. But if you see this, it's because I wanted to have that engagement with you guys, and I can continue talking about this, but I think I'm going to end off this video here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Engage with me in the comments. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.